Cool, I believe we're live. So welcome guys, streaming on a Tuesday instead of Monday, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, I'll just make sure the music's kind of playing a minute. Can you hear me okay? And is the music at a good level? Do a couple of hellos. So we've got hello Tegan. Hello Chromagod. Sup Sarah. Hello Matthew. We've also got earlier on hi to Jack. Cool. So we're just going to have a nice chill stream this evening, and we're going to continue with our illustration of Mystique Venomized and just see where we get to on this one. Potentially finishing it off, but we'll see how much we actually get done. And yeah, any questions, as always, just put them in the chat and we'll go through that. How's everyone's day been? Are you guys off for like the Easter kind of like 2-week break, or are you well, some of you working, or kind of what are you guys up to? Also, if it's your first time in the stream, feel free to say hello in the chat. Minecraft Transformers is finishing up on Transformers Armageddon. Transformers Armada Megatron. Nice. Looking forward to seeing how that comes out. I've been for me, I've been working as well as doing a bit of art for a future video that's coming out. I'm not sure if it'll be one that's coming out on Friday or a bit later on, but it is definitely a future video that I've been working on, which is all fun and exciting. Chromagod, I went on vacation and came back to my home with a dog. Now I have 3 dogs. Wow. You went on vacation, but you came back to and got, like, did you bring another dog back, or is it just a case of you've got like you got another dog like after you came back? You might have to actually put a reference image on here, kind of a. Let's close that. Let's actually get a reference image of where it's. Oh, why is it doing it that way? It's not completely straight. Come on, give me a nice reference image. I was kind of expecting it to be rotated, but it's kind of at a weird angle, that reference image. Never mind, we'll go about reference image then. No, I just find a dog in bad circumstances and bring it to my home. Ah, well, that's very kind of you to do that, Chromagod. Without any spoilers, have any of you guys seen the new Mario movie? It's like change your subject here, but I'm going to ask it. But don't spoil anything you have. Just put yes or no, or if you want to watch it. And if it's a yes, what did you think of it? Minecraft Transformers? Nope. Chromagod? Nope. Oh, not many people then. I highly recommend it if you do get a chance to see it though. It's absolutely amazing. It's got bits for everybody. It's one of the best films I've seen in a long while. And yeah, it was enjoyable. There were so many quite funny parts throughout it. It was absolutely brilliant. I think the next one on my list of things to watch is John Wick 4. Oh my god, I'm always enjoying cartoons and stuff like that. I watch a lot of anime from time to time. Yeah, Minecraft. Apparently the Mario one smashed it in the box office coming out. Although, from what Koi's latest video is, if you haven't watched it because you don't want spoilers, then fair enough. It's had mixed reviews, which I thought was rather interesting. It's like, it's not real world enough. It's like, really? I'm sorry, but Mario's Mario. There's no such thing as real world enough. Mario's Mario. Just do the Mario law. Anything that's for these movies, they should be doing it as, yes, modernize it a bit, but keep the core as the core. Otherwise, what's the point? Oh, that's brilliant, Zara. You will love it. Yo, Justin, how's it going? I have to say, I haven't. In case any of you ask, I have not watched Popcross's video at the moment. I'm a couple behind actually. But that's not the end of the world. It's just more of a heads up. I haven't seen any of them. Kind of been focusing on stuff for the channel really. It's my main focus now is to improve the experience for you guys on the channel. Make things okay, so now I've got that bit for the simulated texture, but I'm going to lose all that texture that we put on there last time. Just didn't think about the right way around. So let's do the eye. Let's work on Mystique's eye. That'd be quite fun to. Oh! Why have we got that? Give me a second. Right, I should be back, guys. Put a 1 or something in the chat if I'm back. The whole application just crashed. Literally just crashed. Was not expecting that. The stream was open though, which is quite good still. But yeah, I did not expect the app to just go and crash on me like that, to be honest. 1. Cool. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that was highly unexpected. Actually, I've got a layer above it, haven't I? So let's just don't need to pass it, and it's just enough so I've got like a reference layer. I really have no idea what happened there. It just kind of decided it was going to crash on us. We had the green screen, I unplugged the iPad, and it just literally just to sort it, and it just died, which was a little bit of a shock. Ooh. Back onto the layers we're working on. Kind of feeling to I don't know, I feel something's kind of missing in the Alright, guys, this is a bit weird what's going on here. Give me a second. Hey guys, I'm still here. I'm just literally trying to figure out why, for some reason tonight, we've suddenly got a green screen of death appearing from time to time. We shouldn't be getting that. I'm just going to double check the settings here a minute. It's on high. That's right. Hey Koi, we've had a few green screen issues tonight. It's been a while since those have appeared on here. So it's kind of interesting. I'm curious what's happening. But we'll figure it out. How is everybody? I was just asking people, Koi, if they've seen the new Mario movie. Maybe that was it. Maybe asking about Mario's, you know, causing the entire thing to crash. Potentially, but yeah. Yeah, no, the just saying, it's something people should definitely go and watch. I'm hoping I don't have any more weird issues with the green screen. If it comes up, let me know in the chat, guys. Sometimes I can't see the screen so well from where I am here, but shouldn't be having any major issues on this. That sounds nice, Koi. Save me a slice. I'll come and collect it in like 4 months by the time I can save up some money to go over, you know, book a flight, get a passport, get over there. Zara, all of them. They are all brilliant in their own unique way. The opening was not what I expected, but it was amazing. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, Venomized Toothless. That's... yeah, I can imagine. I don't think I've ever had... okay, I don't ever recall having braces, but yeah. Sounds a bit painful, that. Right, let's get this nice. Emphasis on this. I don't want it to be the sharper render. Will that be smoother? It's a little bit smoother. Let's have a look. Right, this is weird for the connection, guys, because this is the right cable. Give me a second. I'm just gonna swap things around a minute. Worst case scenario, I'll unplug the cable, I'll change the screen, and I'll just have us pointing down at it from a top angle. We shall see what happens. Typical, I changed the stream in like one night, and that's it. Everything goes to pot. Which is quite a little bit annoying, actually, on that, but yeah. Can I just completely erase this eye and start again? Make it more like part of the X-Men cartoon, just to actually have the a pure white eye instead. That might be quite cool. Yeah, I got no idea what's happening with the actual green screen appearing, guys. Streaming tax, yeah, Koi, definitely. It feels like it sometimes. Also, guys, as Koi mentioned earlier, if you're enjoying the video, smash the like button. If you can and want to, you know, help support the channel, there are a number of ways. Right, give me a second. What if I take off buffering? Guys, this is really insane. I've not had any issues in the streams for a while, and it's maybe we've just got too much going on. I've just killed this. Killed it now. That's it. I've hit a certain point. Everything's like, nah, we don't want you to do that. Oh my god, go ahead and let's see what you got. I've been working on some really epic art though for an upcoming video, as I was saying earlier. I am going to be doing more Venomized stuff coming up soon, basically because we haven't done enough of that in a while, so I'm going to bring them back as well as doing some of the other ones. Narrators Legos, let's make a note of that. I've decided I'm going to start jotting them down a little bit more, make it easier as we go for the stream. I actually quite like your eye like that, actually. Might have to bring a little bit more of the effect for the blending in, and tidy it out a little bit. Is there anything you guys particularly want to, you know, have time with stuff later? Right, this is making no sense what's happening with my screen device here. Give me a minute, guys. Let me just restart the iPad, and we'll have a black screen for a second, and I'll just restart the iPad to make absolutely sure and swap a couple of cables around. Just in case it needs to be in another port or we've got something funky going on. But yeah, so while we've got the black screen of death, are there any, I can't talk now. Are there any other X-Men characters you think we should venomize? I know you had Wolverine at one point venomized, and Cyclops, and a couple of the others, which is quite cool. So Wolverine, I quite like that one. I'm just being sure to go back into the application before I connect to the screen. Video capture device 2. Really? You can't detect my iPad? Now can you detect my... There we go. Right, let's see how this goes. I'll swap the port that it's in just in case something's playing up. Nightcrawler I've done before, but I would like to redo Nightcrawler's design a little bit. Mainly because I feel I can expand upon it a bit more, which would be quite good. So maybe we'll do Nightcrawler on a future one. I still want to do some more Ben 10 kaijus and stuff, but I also want to branch out to a few other things, because I think we're doing... As much as I do like Ben 10 and some of the stuff that we've been doing, and the Pokemon and that, I will be doing some more Pokemon stuff coming up over time. That I think we do need to branch a little bit out more into some of the other aspects of what we could be working on. I just feel that there's we're missing so many things that we're getting into. Anyway, as I was saying before, we had the green screen of death, and really, why is this? It's almost like it's got a weird lag in dying. Give me a second, guys. I just want to double check if I've got something running on here that shouldn't be running that's causing an issue. Let's close a couple of apps. I haven't got a lot open, but let's close as much as we can do to get this working. I do apologise for this. This is not what we normally get on the stream. Also noticing that... Ah! Okay, I think I know what's going on. That's a bit worrying though. Let me check a few things a second, guys. Right, that might solve it. Okay, I think I know what's going on. So hopefully this will start working again soon. I changed it a few times back and forth. I think it's a cross between a handshake issue and a power issue. So I've just sorted out the power to make sure that's working fine, and we'll see what happens. It seems to have steadied off a little bit, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I know it's usually a handshake issue. It's a bit of a weird one. Oh, Venomized Magneto would be quite cool, actually. Alright, let's change the resolution of this. Hi, let's go to... Right, I just need to realign this a second, guys. Nope, still got the issue. Really? Even after that? Why am I getting a handshake issue when I shouldn't be getting one? This is so weird. Let me just double check I've not got any weird settings or something. Tegan, feel free to make a joke about it. I'm going to look into a couple of settings a second. I've unplugged it. I do apologise, everybody. It's been a while since we had one of these, and if it is an issue, then I'll have to try and sort it, because I plan to do a members only stream this week, potentially on Thursday, or tomorrow, maybe tomorrow. I'm doing a members only stream with some behind the scenes, so you get to see what's been worked on for an upcoming video on some of the artwork, which would be quite cool. I just want to make sure I haven't got any... Right. Let's just put this back to the capture settings I had before, because this should be... It should just be the same settings. I haven't changed the settings at all that I've used. That's the bit that's confusing me. The most out of this is the fact that I haven't changed any settings, so I don't know what's I don't know what's going on. If anybody's got any other ideas, then please feel free to shout them out or anything. Holler, whatever you want to do. I'm just in the camera bit, and we'll see what we can sort. Yeah, I am a bit annoyed about the technical issues, but unfortunately they can't be helped when you're live. We'll just continue with what we've got, and we'll see what we can come up with on this. And hopefully we won't get a quite so bold green screen come back. At least not just yet, anyway. Right, we're going to plan to can I get this to work? Right, give me a second, guys, to move stuff around. No, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to try and sort some in a second, so give me a minute, guys. I've got no idea what's going on with that, so I'm going to see if I can adjust this somewhat to be Is that viewable? And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this, which is capture device 2, I believe. I'm going to move this around while I'm here, so let me just turn that one off. Enlarge that up somewhat. I'll see what I can do about the quality of it in a minute, guys. I'm going to do a makeshift. That's the high quality. We're going to makeshift this. I can either do two things. I can do it this way, or I can plug the iPad into the screen. Tell you what, let's try. I've got that way, or I've got this other way I can do, guys. If you give me a second, I will load it up for you to see. So the other one I've got, you can see my arm, is we can do that up to screen mirroring. We could do it on the big screen that way with the iPad for you to see. Steampunk narrative he named Emmett. Maybe Emmett's not a bad name, possibly. And what I'll do is I'll move this closer for you guys. We kind of lose me, but we'll gain a new screen layout. I'll tidy this up a little bit for you guys, make it a bit neater. And I just need to double check we're actually got charge. Cool, it's charging. So yeah, we'll just work on it this way, so you guys can see what's actually happening, like large screen style, if that works for you. And I can kind of adjust it a bit. Can you guys see it well enough? Hopefully you can. I know it's not the best in the world, and I'm at the side of the camera. Hi. You lose me, but you gain a larger image. I think we'll have to go with that for now. And you got Spidey in the background hanging about. So we'll just do this for a bit, so we can talk and still do the artwork at the same time. So yeah, it's kind of weird having it on the two screens, to be honest, but needs must. I'll improvise, and I'll see if I can figure out a way to fix what's happening with it later. It is a handshake issue, as Koi said, but I'll do what I can. The only downside to this is I can't pop up comments at the moment, so I can't load a pop-up to show up on the screen just yet. I'd have to figure out my layout a bit. Actually, give me 2 seconds. Let me see if I can be a bit of a genius on this. I say a bit of a genius, I'm just literally going to put that. With that. Now, Koi-Fish Gaming says that might actually be better. And if I just make that larger for me to see there. Awesome. So I've got the chat and that on this one. And then I've got the rest of it on the other one. So if I put music on, hopefully this will work really well. Tegan, make him a coffee, give him anything to tell the green screen to go away. Would be absolutely awesome. But yeah, for this it's kind of just working through it really. I'm just trying to get a... Yeah, I've kind of done that shadow too dark. Too far over the darkness. Let's go back a few steps. I kind of think that's probably the right lighting for that. I guess it's... Which bit's annoying me the most? tell you what, let's just work on the gold. Work on something we can probably actually tweak a little bit. What do you guys think of this kind of like layout then? Would you want to see more with the somewhat larger screen effect? Kind of see it happen? Ideally though, if I was going to do this, I would be drawing on the screen like that, but you know, I'll have to make do with this for now. It is a little bit annoying and frustrating, but the stream will continue. Justin says, I need to make an edit of big time brushes until I forgot about you, but every other word is a green screen. Our big time rush ones. Yeah, no, I need to make a brush set actually. Do some tweaks to the ones that I've got and then just... Hang on. Right, can I get that reference to work right? Now it works right. It's much better. I think I prefer this with a darker background bit on it. Yep, absolutely, Koi. Definitely pushing forwards on this. It works quite well actually. I will find a way to get a much better angle. Do I do that? There is another way I could do it. I could maybe get an even better angle. You have to give me like 2 minutes to set it up, but I could potentially get a cooler angle. Potentially. Oh, if you guys are happy with this, I'll just stay with this. I don't mind. I can move the camera bit to be pointing more forwards onto it by moving the arm that's on. Yeah, Koi, the challenge of being live, definitely. I think you've probably had more challenges than I'll ever have. But we even had on this stream, the actual app crashed on me, Koi. It literally just crashed. The SE Lite software just crashed and closed on me, so I had a live stream going with nothing there but a blank screen for a couple seconds. It's weird with this painting style because it doesn't have to be quite so perfect on the inked lines like we do with the other lineup, but I have to admit it has been a while since I've done a proper painting style, so it's kind of interesting to see how this is actually going to turn out. I tell you what, guys, I want to test some at a minute. Give me a second because it may go absolutely wonky with the look, but if it works, it could work rather well. So let's just point that there a minute. Screen wipes. I'm just doing technical moving. We're streaming on the go. So what I could potentially do. Where's the best place for this? See a cluttered desk. What about that? Is that better for you guys? A bit more of a square on look? What do you think? I can move this around a little bit, but the idea is that we'll have a bit more of a clearer look, hopefully. Should be a bit more of a better view for you guys to see. The colour is a little bit different to the iPad though. It does kind of like lose a bit of its colour quality on there. Not much, but just a little bit. I'll probably experiment with line colour and stuff over the end of this. I don't know if we'll finish this one this stream. If not, I might finish this off stream and post it so we've got something new for the next one rather than doing a three-parter. It's a bit tricky to know what you're going to do with a digital painting style because it does become more kind of complex over time. No worries, Koi. We'll see you a little bit later on. So has anybody got any art questions, or would you guys be interested in me doing like an art style podcast at some point? Maybe art tips or I think I asked it before, but I generally cannot remember what the overall consensus was on it. Hello, Stella Kitsune Illustrations. Does that mean your channel's live? That's quite a few choices there, Zombie Dragon. All rather cool ones. So X2021, which is Logan's daughter. The Purple Scaly Girl. I'm not sure which one that one is. Yeah, there's quite a few ones. Oh wow, cool, Stella, it's live. I'll have to check it out at some point. If you've got any content on there. Do you have content? Have you got a video up yet? This is me just going, content, video, yeah, got it, have you got it? Show me the content! No, it's cool. I've had to improvise the stream layout. At Stream Elements, how are you? At Stream Elements is a bot, so you don't have to worry about that. Oh, you mean this one, Mystique? The one that we're working on, the blue one that can shapeshift. Minecraft was, oh, the 90s animated series Rogue was really good. I love the way they did her character with the attitude and the hairstyle and the costume. That's awesome. I think the next bit to work on might be I'm going to lose the Venom texture, I'm not too worried about that. I knew for a fact I was going to lose some of this texture because it's the case of how it works out, but we'll sort that with colours in a little bit. I can add the texture on right at the end anyway to replace it. That's not too bad, Stella. All you've got to do is do a video and improve some each time. So if you think your audio is a bit bad that time, try and get better audio on the next one. And then once you sort the audio, work on the next bit and the next bit. But that's quite cool. I'll have to have a look. Yeah, Crema God, he won't respond to you. It's the bot that I use to stream on. It allows us to have certain notifications happening, which is quite cool. Oh, as I was saying earlier, before we had all the issues, I will, and for those that just joined, I will be doing a members only stream this week, is the plan. I'll be working on a single piece of artwork for an hour or so, behind the scenes, is basically what the streams will be. And it's basically, for an upcoming video, it will be the artwork that's going to happen in an upcoming video, which is quite cool. So I might, you can ask questions during the stream as well, but they are members only, so you have to be a member of the YouTube memberships on the channel for that one. But that's going to be quite a fun one to do, and it's only going to be 1 or 2 a month to start with, until things build up, and we'll see how it goes. But the idea is I just want to give a little bit back to the members that we've got. Right. I don't want all of that. I don't want all that. That's fair. Funky hairstyles. The idea behind this is I just want to pick up enough of the hair and the actual elements to create a layer mask selection, which is effectively this, a save and load. And that allows me to just be able to jump back and forth with it, but it also means that I can create a brand new layer with that selection done, and I can tweak the hair a bit more and work on it. So the whole concept of digital art really is layers. Think of everything in layers. Do something on the layer, and if you're not sure, do it on another one. Chroma God, you can do artist jokes if you want, as long as they're family friendly, then go for it. He is Sabretooth. You're on about Vincent. Is it Vincent? No, Jimmy. Jimmy was in the movies. That's cool, Stella. That's not a problem at all. I decided on the hair stuff that I need to be more to make it look cooler. I need to actually just be more of a go for it approach. So I pick the color out, and then I just kind of go to blend it and use it in like the long strokes. And it may not look like it right now, but I will pick the colors back out. I want to just try and get a bit more of a natural blend to it in terms of colours and lightness and that. So too large colour. I'm trying to find the right way to do the styles for the hair, because the hair can be done in a particular way and it looks quite cool, but if you do it in another way, it doesn't really look the part. And you got to find that right little blend between the shadows and the lights, and it's very difficult to do that. Oh, Justin, you're on about Blue Beetle for the Blue Beetle movie, because that's quite a cool one. I wouldn't call him obscure, because the DC Justice League series kind of covers him in more detail, gives more light to his character, but I do get what you mean. It's nice to see them doing other characters, trying to build them up more. Oh, thank you, Minecraft Transformers. You didn't have to do that, but absolutely appreciate it. And Tony, congratulations for getting a membership for a month. Be sure to thank Minecraft Transformers if you're in the stream. Ah, cool. Still comes up on screen. Awesome. Oh, as a whole, yeah, no, that's quite cool. Justin, it is nice to see them looking to do more with the characters, as you say. I think there are so many characters they could put into the movies that will do super well. It's just, as we say, it's getting those characters to kind of tie in with what we're after, what they're after. That screen time is kind of important. I am looking at a way to get this monitor plugged in so I can draw on it, but it records the screen for you guys. Chroma God, if they've been in the chat, or I think if they're in the chat, or they're on the, or they popped in and jumped out briefly, they have a chance to get done or get picked up as a member. Get done as a member, no. Picked up as a member, I think, is the way it works. I don't know the pure ins and outs of it, but it does mean that it's quite cool. And Tony's been in the chat quite a few times before saying hi and that, so it'll be a nice surprise for them. But thank you so much, Minecraft Transformers. Completely appreciate it. How are you doing on your channel anyway? How many hours have you got left to get? Or how far off getting into the program are you? Because I can't remember how far away you were last time. Was it a couple hundred hours to go, maybe? Yeah, I decided in the last stream I really was not happy with the hair, and I was hoping it'd grow on me more. But over the course of the stream, it's just not grown at all. For the previous ones, I've really not liked it, so I'm just going to literally redo the hair. I've kept the original on the layers below though for this, which is good. About 200 hours away. That's cool. I will be setting over the next couple of days. I'll go through the channel and see if there's anything I haven't looked at in a while, and look to watch them. I think there's a couple I need to catch up on, but that's about it. I'm not entirely sure. Oh wow, that's amazing. That's really good. How's your sub count? Do you have enough subscribers to hit YPP? I don't know what your count is on. And guys, if you haven't and you're in the chat and you like Transformers, check out Minecraft Transformers channel after the stream and be sure to subscribe to it if you like the content. But oh wow, you've definitely got enough for that. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you join the program. Don't make my mistake of, when you go to link the AdSense account, having a new one created and not checking it's set to individual. You need it as an individual. I've got to wait another week and a half before I can even contemplate changing mine to what it should be, and which is a bit frustrating, but yeah. It's not the end of the world. It's just one of them annoying things. I keep giving anybody new a heads up. Yeah, be sure you make it as an individual, because oh boy. Yeah, Justin, that's an awesome intro. That one. Okay, so for this, I'm hoping to just get enough of a general shape done. In place here, just to work through these bits, just enough to add. I can erase now because I erased that bit. To add a few bits to it, just see how it goes. I appreciate that, Eamon. Just make sure you don't get in trouble. Yeah, I've had to change the layout on this one. Oh, also guys, be sure to enter the community redraw this month. It's creating your own character with any form of superpowers, but they need to have a weakness. more unique weakness, the better it'll be. But yeah, be sure to add them into it. So a weakness could be, it's basically their version of kryptonite to make it interesting. I like that better now. It's that hair before wasn't working. I need to figure out something more for hair later, but it's kind of working for now for me. There are a few bits I need to go in behind the scenes and tidy up. Gee, that bit wouldn't be, but that bit would. This is where the attention to detail that works so well on digital artworks. I can get right into these little corner bits to add that extra level of shading, really. I think it probably needs to be a bit darker, actually. Yeah, I'm probably doing. There a bit. Really weird just going over the work that I've done before, because it feels like I'm taking what I've done, I'm just throwing it out the window. Literally feels like that. Candy John Mustard, mustard be a weed. Dijon mustard. Yeah, anything could be a weakness for it. Tegan, I would join, but I don't know how to submit, and I'm kind of self-aware about my art. Tegan, you can submit via email. So you can email it in behind the scenes to the redraws at DempseyJ Illustrations, which is in the video descriptions on most of my videos. Or if you're on the Discord, you can join the Discord server and put it in the submissions channel. Don't be conscious about your art. All art of any level is welcome. It doesn't matter if it's if you're the best drawer in the world or you're not. I will redraw it as best I can from your descriptions and the artwork, or your information for it and the artwork. So I'll do my best to redraw things how best suits what's being done. But yeah, if you want to have a go, just feel free to have a go. It's not a problem at all. Galahowl19, hey Dempsey, how long have you been submitting videos on YouTube? Oh, how long have you been doing? I started a channel about 5 to 6 years ago. I did a couple of videos and then I didn't really take it seriously. I was just doing a few hand-drawn ones here and there. Over time, I thought, oh, I know what? I want to take it a bit more seriously. So I kind of did. And I started to do more artwork, and that's about 2 to 3 years ago now. So pretty much the art on this channel is from me taking it seriously. So probably the last 2 years, really. But yeah, that's how long I've been creating videos properly for. Always adds a nice effect to the hair. Can I get a little bit of a don't know if I need to, a little bit of the blue colour in the hair here, just to soften it up a bit, but I don't know if that's the right colour blue. That's better. A little trick, if you're going to soften up the face of a character, you want to kind of just take one of the colours of the face and put it into it. Omenheart, my Lego creation might be a bit too hard to redraw. If you've got a particular angle of it and you've got a description of, kind of just put a worded description of what you envision with it as well, if you can do, or even if it's really, really rough outline sketch or something, then it's fine. But yeah, have a go and we'll see what happens. Galahad19, by the way, thank you for choosing my design for your community redraw. I was expecting more human characters than humanoid animals. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I deliberately didn't say because I wanted to kind of do a bit of a twist on that. So even though they're human characters for the tribes, a lot of submissions were kind of like humanoid animals, which was quite cool. But I also wanted to kind of do a twist for it. So I kind of added in that bit for a bit of a spin on it. Potentially there might, a lot of people have been asking me if there's going to be a continuation of that story. There is a possibility. It's not 100% set in stone yet, but there is a possibility it might continue in another redraw later on with something else. Monkey Kid is an animated show and they're based off the Legos. Justin says, if you're part of the Lantern Corps, what Lantern Corps would you want to join, Dempsey? The White Lantern Corps. And if you know your Lantern Corps, if you know it, then you'll know exactly which one that one is. If you don't, then haha. But there is a condition to be in the White Lantern Corps. Justin says, I didn't even find out about you until Popcross recommended you. Yeah, that completely blew my mind when he did that. I was absolutely in shock. It was amazing when that happened. Nice to see he's recommended a few other channels actually, which is quite good. Galahad19 says, so this month you'll be doing that steampunk episode that you've been promising. Not that I'm rushing you. Potentially, yes. I am planning to get that done this month, before the end of the month. I do have another episode which I've swapped things around for beforehand, because I am bringing back a Venomized episode onto the channel because we haven't done that in a while. I feel it's important to get some of the older stuff back and to get that going. It's not much of a story arc, but it will be one of the older episodes. And then, yeah, it's just picking it up from there. But my intention is definitely to have a steampunk episode done by the end of the month. I was saying before you joined the stream, I don't know if you're in the stream when I was saying it, Galham19, I am going to be doing the odd members only stream starting, and that's going to be in essence that's going to be once or twice a month, and it'll be behind the scenes really. So I'll be working on stuff for an upcoming video, and people can ask questions or stuff like that, but it'll be working on the content for upcoming videos. So it could be a Venomized video, it could be the steampunk video, and it will be about an hour or two. You can ask questions, you can see the artwork, you can get an idea of what's coming ahead, and yeah, it's pretty much that kind of thing. I think I've got most of the base done except for the chest piece, which I think I want to have a different colour. Let's go a gold chest piece. Which would definitely be quite cool for that one. Omenheart says, the next thing to redraw you should do is, instead of drawings, we submit pictures of our pets. I have got an idea of one that I want to do, which would be quite cool. Possibly with pets, possibly without, but there is the potential of doing one in the future that has a bit of a twist to it. I feel a Venomized redraw is definitely going to be one that would be quite cool to bring up. Potentially dragons or somewhat dragon related is going to be another one. But we've also got to bear in mind that there's a fair amount of, there's quite a few cool ideas and suggestions I've got up on the board to work on, which would be really cool. I'm also realising I should have kept a lot of these layers separate to start with until I'd finished doing all of the colouring on the last video. So that's a little bit of a catch-22, but it's not a problem. Layers, let's see what we can do with this one. That's quite funky. Bring the reference image over here so you guys can see what's actually happening. I'm basically looking for a kind of a golden pattern on it. Galhan says you're bringing back a Venomized episode. It wouldn't have to be SCP Venomized episode 2. Not yet. There are plans for that one. I do also want to continue with what happened with the Venomized Warden. So we'll have a continuation of that story as well from the Minecraft characters Venomized episode, because that got sucked out of that video game dimension, which is quite cool. So there are plans to bring that back. I'm also going to be looking at a possible merger of two concepts into a video. So like I'm doing here with a Redraw My Art, I want to do a Redraw My Art on a couple of the older videos and just see the style change and difference. But I'm not going to do 3 pieces of art. I'm probably going to do about 4, maybe 5, which would be quite cool. Yes, there will be a steampunk community redraw episode at some point. I definitely have plans to do that. I don't have an exact time when I'm going to have that done by. I need to select that. Did it not select that? Let's have a look. Oh, it did. Cool. Maybe I can't see it because of the extra lines then, because I wanted that selection loaded. There we go. I'm going to take that off. Take that off. Load that selection in. There we go. I can work on adding some highlights to this now. That is on the list, Galahad 19. Now, I've got a question for you. Would you rather see the steampunk episode this month or Hell of a Boss as Dinosaurs episode this month? Because they're 2 really good ideas, and I'm just wondering if which one will be better to do. Wait, what? Venomized Toothless? You replaced the bands on your braces and the hook snapped off your tooth? Yeah, that's not good. And Stella says, I'm going to redraw the mech armor narrator at some point in the future, but basically her type personality is just like Dr. McGregor when we first saw him. Nice. I do have plans to do some characters slightly different from what we expect in terms of introducing them and some stories. I'm definitely going to have a much more wackier story on one of my redraws. I've decided that would be absolutely fun to do. So we're definitely going to have a bit of a more crazier story happening. Potentially somewhat along the lines of, I still like the idea that was suggested of Nexum trying to unstump his terror across the multiverse. A story as wacky as that, but I need things to be submitted that are quite cool for it, which will work out really well. think that'd be quite fun. Have a bit of a ridiculous episode would be quite cool. I do want to do that, I just want to plan it out a bit more. Oh, you've seen a black screen here and here because I've plugged the iPad into this monitor to be able to, this second display, because we're getting a green screen of death earlier. So we're having to film it on the camera, on my phone as acting as a camera rather than on the actual bit here. So we've got the original artwork in the top corner here, and then a reference of what's actually the whole picture, just to keep an idea of the balance, and then we've got the actual picture which I can zoom in on here to get the actual effect of. It's not as great as the iPad plugged in, but it was just playing up so bad, it was a nightmare. Now Galhan 19, I can't say what that's going to be, unfortunately. For the topic, it is a good topic that I haven't really done anything on the channel with, and people have been asking for quite a while. I would say it's equally as good as the Hell of a Boss of Dinosaurs, so I might have to do both, but I don't know if I can get them both done in 1 month. It's the only caveat. I've really upped the game on some of my other artwork this month for an upcoming video. I've changed my technique slightly in what I'm doing, depending on what's happening, and it's really coming back with quite a nice effect. Yeah, I'm going to merge that down then, because I quite like that. I will be tidying this up as I go along in a little while. I just need to merge these down as I go through, because there's a there's going to be areas where I want to just make these look a little bit sleeker and a bit nicer. Steampunk. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'll have to finish that off. It's the voice is the biggest hard point for me. I still haven't leveled out a voice that I want to do for the narrator in full. I may have to figure something out for that one. I've got to also get an idea of a feel for a steampunk voice. It's a bit tricky. The narrators I don't have a huge vocal range for the voice of the narrators, so it does vary from time to time. Okay, let's turn that back on. That was with that on. The eye looks a lot better, but the eyebrow doesn't, so I need to tweak some of these a bit. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm used to accents. I naturally have a British style accent because I'm in England. I could do Wiltshire, which sounds a bit more like Aaron Bainsworth's pirate accent. Wiltshire does sound like a pirate, to be honest. and then it's a case of figuring out other accents that I can do, and I really can't do any accents. So it's going to be interesting. If I can get an accent working on it, I will. If not, then I'll have to just start off with a talking in a particular way and then add an accent onto it. Not a problem, Omen Heart. Thank you for joining so far. Don't get yourself in trouble, and we'll catch you later. And Venomized Toothless, good luck on your braces. Thank you for joining, and yeah, see you next time. Anyone seen the new Murder Drones episode? No, I haven't. I'm a bit behind on that. I was meant to check that out at some point. It was suggested for me to check it out, and I never actually got around to doing it. In all honesty. Which isn't kind of like... It's not overly bad, but it's not the best thing in the world. I was planning to. Which is always good fun when you want to plan to do something, but it doesn't always work out. Where's the darkest section? That's the colour I want. Nope. We'll go for the darkest colour here. I'll just section that one out quite dark. It's a bit weird doing the drawing down here. Ben, no, I haven't seen any of the last three. In all fairness, I have been stacked with work and a few other things, and I have not had a chance to look at them properly. I've also been trying to sort things out for the channel, so I've been, as much as I'd love to look at them all, I've been selective of what I've been watching. I have something playing on YouTube in the background as I'm working, or I'm working on art, but it's not pop cross. I'm kind of wanting to... I'm going through a phase where I'm considering a small rebrand of the channel. Not what we do, how I do it. So, what I'm planning to do is maybe update the channel banner to be a bit more unique. I've got the logo sliding in the top corner now, so it comes in from the top right across. So it slides in on the videos and slides out, which is quite cool. But I also want to try and find a different way of doing it. So maybe in my videos when I do the teaser, I'm actually drawing on screen and you're seeing it from that angle, a diagonal angle, so you see me actually drawing it. I will still do the lore and still do the icons at the bottom, but I've got a few ideas of things to try and make it a bit more... Still the same essence with lore and artwork, but I don't want it to... I want it to branch away from being almost identical in format, so my thumbnails will change as well, if that makes sense. I'm trying to branch away from being similar to Popcross because I know that works, but I kind of want to tweak it and see what I can do to either improve on stuff or to make better content and make it more enjoyable. So there will be a bit of experimentation going around in terms of the thumbnails. Will be more, they might not have that slash bit in the middle on all of them where you've got like one version and another. There might be a different way of doing that to see how they work. And I'm also trying to figure out how to actually get more engagement in them. It's probably the key word. So more engagement to make it more interesting for you guys. But the whole essence is going to be the same. Stella says, and Dempsey, you are on my list of people that gave me the inspiration to start my channel. Oh, thank you for that, Stella. That's not a problem. That's nice to know, actually. I'm glad I could have encouraged you to... Well, sorry, I'm glad I encouraged you to start your channel. The best thing to do is just go for it. If it fails, figure out what went wrong, start again. One thing that I've noticed isn't taught to a lot of people is a philosophy, and it's a very good philosophy, and I've learnt it more in recent years. There's this whole ideology that failing is bad and you've got to fail or succeed, but you can't succeed unless you fail. Failure is a part of the road to success. If you try something and you fail at it, try it again and change something, and eventually you will succeed, or keep trying it and you will succeed. So as long as you have that in mind and you just don't give up and you want to do it and you just keep going with it, then your channel's going to pick up over time, and yeah, you'll be at a point where Koi is, Minecraft Transformers, I am, a lot of other channels on YouTube where you've got a community growing, and yeah, it's all good fun, and you enjoy making the content. Grandma God says, about the dog I talked about earlier, I wanted to name Monica as she is female, but then I think, nah, let's call it Demonica. Nice. And just says, do you think Blue Beetle will be like MacGyver? I think Blue Beetle is going to be a cross between MacGyver and the actual Guyver style. Ben says, do you know what Unkillable Kate says, what sucks is good for you? Does she? I haven't watched that episode, but yeah, that'll be it's on my list of things to see. I don't want to add more. I don't want to add more. I'm not going to follow down the routine of a lesson in every single bit of the all the stories, because that's then just copy and pop across this nice new thing that he's got from the motivational aspects up, and that's amazing that he's doing that. It's just not me. I want to, like I say, with the small rebrand that I'm doing, it's more visual and editing and setting things up to work right. It's going to be a case of it's not so much what's the best way to put it, it's not so much taking away from what I'm doing, it's just a case of, yeah, it's hard to explain, it's just developing it. Ben, I completely get you're saying in reference, I agree, it's exactly the same thing as I was saying earlier. I just thought I'd use it as a chance to say I still want to do stories with more of the, do them with what I find interesting, and also with the advice on the YouTube channel. Yeah, no, I completely agree, and the best advice for the YouTube is just make content. So, and do not get hooked on the numbers. Seriously, never get hooked on the numbers. That will completely and utterly derail you. Make content, improve something on it. Don't focus about the numbers, and the numbers will actually take care of themselves once you get to a certain point. Make the content first. Get the content right. So many people fall into the trap of, and it's hard to, I've done it before. A video does really well, or so a video will do really well, or it'll pick up like views. A short might go viral for a bit and that, and people are like, yes, oh my god, it's gone viral, it's amazing, yes, 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 and the next video they do similar does not kick off the same. Do not, that is expected, that will happen. Just move on to the next one, and over time it might pick up. Dark Lord Space Castle, how are you? I forgot how long your name was then, but yeah, Dark Lord Space Castle, welcome to the stream, and how are you? My day's not been too bad. I've been working, doing a few bits and bobs, and now I'm with you guys just working on some of this artwork to try and take the bits for the colours and that, and just I'm trying to reformat the base of this so that I've got the colours working. Yes, Justin, that is also another one, the Ben 10 heroines. However, I don't think that's the right way of pronouncing it, but if you're looking forward to a Ben 10 hero or heroines, as in the female heroes episode, that is still in production. I definitely have a few cool plans for that one. Justin, I don't know what you're on about Stream Elements, what you're doing, bro. I can only see this chat on the pop-up. I can't see the actual other chat. Yeah, but Justin, I got to be careful what I repeat on the channel because of being monetized now. You've got to, there are strict guidelines on things that you've got to adhere to. So when you put something like that, I've got to figure out how I'm going to say it instead of just reading the comment out. So I'm glad you're keeping me on my toes, which is quite cool and everything. It's just a case of, yeah, keeping an eye out on it a little bit. But no, it's going to be a fun series. I do have much more planned for that in the future. I'm actually going to make the next one is most likely going to be a proper episode, which is on my list of things to do. I'd almost forgotten about it at one point, to be honest. But yeah, I need to get the steampunk episode done. The idea's been in production for about a year now. It feels like been a very long time, so I've got an idea of the narrator as such. I just don't have anything made. Yeah. It matched what I was saying before this. It probably did. The music's random at the moment on my playlist. Let's get another song on. But yeah, on this one, I don't know how far we're going to get with this, to be honest. In terms of a finished piece, digital artwork takes longer, but we're going to get as much done as we can do, and I'll probably finish this off stream so that the next video we do that's a live stream next week is going to be something new. Possibly a digital painting, but I want to potentially bring a new idea into the mix. Need to flesh it out though, but I kind of want to bring something new onto the channel. I'm not sure what, which is going to be interesting. Alright, I'll tell you what, we've got enough of a base down for me to be able to have some fun. So let's work on this to have a bit of fun, and we'll pick the right colour for the hard light layer. Is that going to be right for the shadows? If I turn like them. Or do I want a soft light? Oh, I like soft light. That's going to work nicer. That one needs to be about 70. This is where it's good to experiment with what shadows you're going to get. Like, I think that's going to look really cool. Okay, we're going to have some fun with this in a minute. I'm just going to put my overlay layer on and my add layer for this. We'll jump between that one and potentially that one. So let's see what happens if I fill that with that colour. And that one becomes that colour. Yeah, that's going to work nicely. I've started using soft light instead of hard light on what I'm doing on some of the layers for details. And the reason being is it seems to have a much more detailed effect. It's really good. Kremagod, the stream elements on this connected to the lore is the stream elements is the software that allows me to send whatever you're seeing from the editing software up to YouTube down to the whole chat and everything. So it ties in. Everything's hooked in, so the chat's also hooked into Steam Elements. When we get a new subscriber, like when Tony got a membership earlier and you saw that little pop-up in the bottom corner around here, that's an alert from Stream Elements. So in terms of the lore, it's a happy little helper behind the scenes. So I'm going to start with this mask here. I'm just going to start adding potentially some sharper elements, but I think I might actually want to paint these instead. Will that work better? So I can paint and then just have the brush pick up the bits that I want. So I want to keep that painting feel, but I want to just have it naturally darken the areas that have to be darkened. I don't want to have to worry about going backwards and forwards for the colours as such. Because thanks to this brush I can really darken them up, or I can lighten them up over time. It just means that I can have a broader effect. So if I want a whole area shaded like this, I can actually build the shadow up on the character's face. And then this bit here can be completely shaded. And I don't have to worry if I go over on this bit because it just adds to the effect, the contrast. But what I'm doing is I'm not actually changing any of the colours. I'm just adding a dark effect over the top, and it's gone from this to a much more richer contrast. And then when I start building the next layer of lighting on top of that, it'll be interesting. Hey, will you be adding Minecraft into SCPs? I haven't decided if I'm going to do some Minecraft SCP version or do something like Digimon as SCPs. I will be taking another series and I will be making them into SCPs, similar to the Pokemon SCPs that I really like doing. And mainly it's going to be just redrawing the creatures and the mobs as more gruesome monster versions. Potentially for a redraw at some point that might be an option. I do want to do something where I take a design and I make it in someone's your submitted designs, and I make them into effectively the opposite of what they are. So if they're cute, they become monstrous, and if they're monstrous, they become cute or they become something different. That is definitely high on the list of what I want to do coming up. Oh, I'm also going to make the tongue really gruesome. In fact, let's make this tongue really gruesome. Would you like to learn how to make a really disgusting looking saliva on the tongue? If you do, put 1 in the chat. If you guys want to see me turn part of the tongue, I don't know how well it will look on that screen, but it's really simple to draw, but it does have a few layer effects. I can explain it as I go along, but I'm not brilliant at it. However, it does, and I will say this now, it does look quite gruesome. Okay, so I'm going to need a couple new layers outside of our layers that we work on. And you want a light colour, maybe a yellowish creamy colour, and a normal, I'm using an ink brush. So when you draw this on the tongue, the saliva, you want to think of like following the shape of the tongue. Draw it like there's a droplet of gravity and you're drawing it in, and you want to, you could do it with blue, but I don't like blue. It doesn't work quite so nice, even though it's watery. You can add the blue tints to it after, and you want to picture saliva like on the Venom posters has the kind of thickened thing distinguishing lines. And once you've got kind of something you're happy with, it looks really wrong to start with. It doesn't look great to start with, but once you kind of get a few of the lines in, what you want to do is you want to duplicate the layer twice. You want to Gaussian blur the bottom layer, just enough to give it kind of like a glow effect. So you can see it's kind of started to get a glow effect on it. And then what you do is you turn the other 2 layers off. You mask your layer, get a soft brush, and it needs to be a small soft brush and not quite full opacity, and you just erase bits of it in there on the inside. It's going to sound really weird, but you got to think of the shape of like a fluidy object. You just erase a few bits out, and it doesn't look quite right to start with. Okay, but this is where it gets really, really cool. So then you add your normal layer back on, and you create a mask on that one. Lower the opacity a bit more, and maybe make the brush a bit larger, depending on what you need to do. And then you start doing the same thing. You start erasing around the bits, and you see you start getting this kind of glowing, almost liquid-like structure, and it looks really wrong to start with. But when you start adding it on and then you lower the opacities at the end, it's going to look right, but it does look really bad. I'll catch you next time, Galahound19. Thank you for joining. Oh, if anybody wants the emoji icons that Chromagod is using, be sure to become a channel member. It's the only way you're going to get them, but obviously only if you can afford it, or if you get gifted it by pure chance. Yeah, so you kind of take these bits here And then what you do is on the last layer, you turn it to an add layer, so it's a bit white. You drop the opacity down a little bit, and you do the same thing, and it's really weird, but you're masking it each time you want to be masking the layer to do what you need to do. And you start just lightly erasing the layer. And it's already starting to get this weird, almost texture to it. And you want to not just do it on one bit, so you want to just think about the shape and just do it randomly all over. And I know it looks really wrong. I apologize for that at the moment. But when I look at when we zoom out, we'll do the opacities later. When we zoom out, it starts looking like, well, saliva, basically. You do it on each layer a few times. I'm going to do pop up at the end. So when you merge the mask in, merge the mask, merge the mask, you can then merge that down and merge that down, and then you play with the setting that you want. So you can kind of color dodge it a bit if you want more color in. You can go to like an overlay effect depending on what you want, or you just find the one that works for you. Usually you can just go normal and you just turn the opacity down just a little bit, and then it starts looking like saliva, and it looks quite gross, but it's a really simple method, and it only takes you 3 layers. So it takes you 3 layers, a layer mask on each, and all you're doing is you Gaussian blur the bottom one, and you erase bits. Then you've got your next shapes and you erase it. But make sure you've got all your shapes in first, and then you can actually have what looks like saliva running around the place. And I'll delete that now, but because I'll do it properly later. But the concept is, that's how you do it. It is as simple as that. So hopefully that little tutorial helps. It can be used for any type of fluid effect. The whole concept is it's supposed to be bodily fluids like saliva, but if you tweak it, you can use it for like water running down the surface or something. Excuse me, or other stuff depending on what you're drawing. However, if you change the colors, you can make it like blood coming down. So if you change the hue of that to be red, you can make it look like it's blood that's coming down, that's quite thin and or watery, or you can make it solid and then use the same effects with a solid color underneath it and build it up, which is really cool. It's just a case of working through it. But the more you add the lighting and the relevant bits beforehand, the much to get these colors to pop out like I'm doing here, the much more of an effect that stuff will have on top of it. Just to give an idea of what you can do. But it starts bringing the illustration out to life in these paintings. There's a few little techniques and tips you can do that just make a complete difference to everything. That's not a problem, Chroma God. Thank you for joining so far. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Well, I'm up against the wall, so if it is, they're on the other side of the wall in the hallway, but a Xenomorph Blitzer would be quite cool, actually. I don't actually know how long we've been streaming for either, to be honest, guys. I've lost a lot of the overlay stuff, so let's have a look. An hour 40, so we can go for a little bit longer. I know we had some technical issues at the start of the stream, but we can go for a little bit longer, which is quite cool. So we shall. Xenoboss or Helomorph? Ah, Hellmorphs. I was watching something the other day. They've made a humid. They did Alien. It's Alien Icarus or something in the comics, and Marvel took it over, and they did a really good job. And it looks amazing, the story, but it's also quite dark. I think this is the one thing I do love about doing like the layers and the layer masks. You can just quite easily just paint the bits in that you want to be darker. And then obviously, because it's a math, well, on the layer, if you're doing it wrong, you can just go back to here, find the one that you want, and just erase it out because it's on a brand new layer. So you can just add the lightness back to it if you've gone too far. It does help with how things look and work, to be honest. It's really cool. Tegan says, how do you draw wings as arms? Because it's just bugging me that I have an incomplete character with wings for arms. Okay, now here's a really big tip, and it's really simple. Look at, I mean, I went on Pinterest when I did my character, that Mario, it was Boom Boom as a super villain, and we had that weird winged effect on him. But all I did is basically looked at references for wings, whether it's characters like Hawks. Your best one is look up Hawks from My Hero Academia. They have normal arms and wings, but the whole concept is when you look at bird wings and you think they join in on the shoulder. So the shoulder is basically where the wings would join in on the back, and then you just draw a wing coming out of it from the arms. It's that simple. Some of the feathers may come down partway down the side to be like the underarm and down, kind of if you imagine like a flying squirrel. They've got the bits, the extra skin at the side, or Spider-Man's webbing if you've seen it in some of them. He kind of has so you've got the shoulder joint here and the main body. You draw the wings out here. I'm going to do quickly, but then you have them come down here for the feathers. And it's basically just sticking the wings on the end for the arms. Now, depending on the wings, you may have a joint, so you can do a joint bit here or curve them round here, and then you've got kind of like the curvy joint in the wings. But it's effectively that. It's just the elbow joint becomes where the wings join, and everything comes back into that direction from here. Everything comes out depending on how you're drawing it. You just want the wings to come down to potentially be level with the side of the skin there, and then you kind of like got the rest of the body there. That's how I would approach it, if I'm being honest. It's probably the best advice I can give you on that. Hopefully it helps. Maybe doing a Ben 10 Kaiju if there's time. Won't be getting done today, Ben 10 Kaiju, but I am going to be picking up another one in another stream. As I say, I probably won't be able to finish this one off this stream, in terms of completely finish it. I am using some other techniques to kind of speed things up a little bit on this, just because I want to get some more of a contrast in on this illustration. But yeah, it's a case of I am happy to pick that up on another stream, basically. This one is just, I know I dropped a video out. I moved this because I didn't have a chance to work on or I didn't get a chance to stream yesterday because things to do, other commitments, basically. But I am also, I'm in the office with work tomorrow, so I can't stay as long as normal because I will need to get some sleep. I have to get up early to get into the office, just because of travel time. But that's also why I'm doing like a member stream, possibly tomorrow night. If not, it'll probably be over the weekend, maybe Saturday. But there will be a members only stream for some content. If it's not for Friday's video, it'll be for one next week, the following week. I will be doing some of my old art being redrawn, as I said earlier, like this one. So like you've got the Mystique in the top corner, Venomized, that was my old reference picture. This was the redrawn one. Some of the old artwork will be in the same pose, some of it will be a slightly different pose, but I have gone I've gone really detailed on what I'm doing for the first series for it, and I'm hoping that everybody enjoys how it's going to turn out. I am kind of cheating with this because I say cheating, is lighting makes everything in the illustration. So hang on, let me try and I can't focus that in any better on that, I don't think. There's a lighting contrast at the moment. See if I can get that much clearer. It's probably the clearest we're going to get. The colours aren't quite the same as what I've got. They're actually a bit brighter on here than they are on the iPad, but I'm improvising this working at the moment with things where they don't normally belong. But yeah, the concept is they're going to be some really high detailed stuff, and I mean like high detailed. If any of you have seen it in the community post, the snippet for something I'm working on for a future video, that detailed. The whole concept is I'm trying to get more detail into the art process without being longer on doing the artwork. So if I can average, when I do a detailed piece, about 4 hours on it, between 3 and 4 hours, I've got a chance to make a video of at least 3 to 4 illustrations in a week amongst the live stream. Unfortunately, the thing is, the longer I take on a artwork for a video to make it really stand out, the less time I've got to actually put a video together for that week using that artwork. Just because YouTube's not a full-time job for me. It's I do YouTube artwork and that in my spare time, so I record what I get a chance to record when I can, and that means that I don't always get the luxury of doing as much art as I want in a video. Sometimes we only get sometimes we only get 3 illustrations in it, sometimes we'll get 4. The community redraws I'm starting a bit earlier on in the month nowadays, so we tend to get a bit more depending how many there are. But I have noticed that if I have something work related that's quite important, sometimes it does have a knock-on effect on what I'm doing. And obviously work pays the bills, so until YouTube picks up enough to pay the bills, one day, we'll get there one day, until it picks up enough to pay the bills, then it's going to be a case of work is my top priority. Right, so what I want to do is clipping mask. There we go. Now this layer should be the more interesting one. This is going to be where everything starts coming together, but this needs to be quite lower. Welcome back, Omen Hart. And honestly, I love the interactions with Benny and Harold. Oh, if that's on one of Popcross's most recent videos, I haven't seen them, but I know he's I might have seen that one actually. I think the Benny and Harold one's the only one I probably have seen or caught a bit of it. But yeah, I'm looking to do some interactions between the narrators a bit more on the stories, but I also want to get a bit more depth into the stories. I feel the stories that have done really well recently, like the Jungle Darkness one, even though I don't go into depth of a character talking, it's had a bit more of an impact. there's been, I say more of an impact, more people want to know more about the story and what's going on it. They're like, we want to know more about this war, this, like, with the tribes, what's going to happen with this creature that's escaped. And I'm like, I haven't really thought for past this story bit, to be honest. I know where I want it to go, but I didn't really think it'd be more than just a one-off redraw story. I didn't expect it to do quite so. I didn't expect a couple of people to say, I'd like to know what happens in this, or, you know, will there be another one? I want to know what happens in this war, or what happens next. I was a bit, I was pleasantly surprised at that. Which is always nice. And I think Nexon would be in a pickle if he met my mech armor narrator because she doesn't trust anyone, no matter who they are. Nexon, maybe. It depends on who your narrator meets, because if they don't trust anybody, no matter who they are, if a narrator's good at reading people and picks that up, like the person they interact with, they could play that against your narrator, knowing that you don't trust them. So the best example is the original Super Mario's movie in the 1990s. Mario and Luigi were trying to get to a place to fix the plumbing, and Luigi was giving the directions at the start, and Mario always did the opposite to where he went. So later on in the movie, Luigi deliberately said to go one way, so Mario would go the other way, the way that Luigi actually wanted to go in the first place. So you can kind of play them off, but I do like the fact that your narrator doesn't trust anybody, whoever they are. You could have a lot of fun with that. That's quite a cool personality to put in there. I'm just wondering. Hello, Crazy for a Day. Welcome to the stream. In case you're wondering what's going on, I've had a green screen of death several times, so I've improvised and plugged the iPad into the monitor, and the monitor, my large pen display, is acting as a second monitor so you can see what's on the screen. I'm just wondering if I can maybe just take out some of the extra focus of it, so it's possibly a bit clearer when we zoom. Yeah, if I zoom in more, then it's a bit clearer of how the illustration's coming along. Which is really good in that. But how's your day been, Crazy for a Day? Oh wow, I can't believe it, Eamon Hart, but happy birthday for Saturday. Hope you have a fantastic day. So I'll look at that to get a reference, because it's kind of a, I want it to keep a metallic feel to this kind of skull on her head. That's good, Crazy for a Day. How do you like how our Mystique characters, Venomized, redrawing the old art? Got the artwork at the top there. And then we're just redrawing. I basically took the same pose to start with and just tweaked it a little bit to draw a bit more of the body. We're just basically making sure the character comes to life quite nicely, and then I can tidy up some of the colours underneath later on. I want to get a basic structure in place for her. It's a bit better. Just kind of want to pick up some aspects to do the light and the shading, so we've got some effect. It's a bit lower quality compared to what I normally do on the stream, because normally you've got the display coming through, but it's coming along nicely. Yeah, the metallic kind of like skull being venomized looks really cool. I kind of like took that effect from Mystique, and I always wanted to do like sharper teeth. So on this picture that's in the top corner, I'll expand it out a minute. On this one, you can see I've kind of done the same on the skull on the head, but this was done like 2 years ago. This one, so we're kind of just redrawing it in the style that I do now, or drawing it 2 years on, and we basically got this, which is a massive change in difference. And then once I've got the core essence of most of this done, I can start adding a bit more of a tidy up to this behind the scenes. So now you've got this, what you can do is you can actually create a color dodge layer, pick a color that you want, make sure it's a darker version of the color, and then when you go over the layer, the color dodge layer, you actually get to highlight more of the color, so it should start bringing it out. Unfortunately, it's not as nice as what I can see on my screen, but we'll get there a bit. But you can highlight out some of, if not most of the color bits. So it's like the blue for the skin. I can emphasize a bit more of the blue color in the skin, or I can turn that more teal or darker. And the purple, if I go for a darker purple color, I can kind of add a bit more of a purpley tint on the lighter bits. Or I could go completely random and I could do another color for a tint, and I can just add color into it, which is, oh, I like that. So just start adding a bit of a color to it to tweak it slightly. To be honest, I think with a symbiote shapeshifting ability, her powers could go through the roof. So, for example, with the some symbiotes can replicate metals. So, if she was merged with Mystique was merged with a symbiote, you know, like in the X-Men movie with Hugh Jackman, where I think it was the first X-Men movie where they're fighting around the Statue of Liberty, and she mimicked him and made the claws, but obviously he just slashed through the claws. Well, with a symbiote, they could probably be made out of adamantium or a strong material that can match adamantium, and it would actually be more of a harder way to distinguish who's who. That'd be quite interesting to do, which would be quite cool. So you can have a lot of fun with stuff like that on the characters and the designs, on her character with the symbiote. The other one also is, if you go from X-Men, what is it? It's not First Class, it's X-Men Days of Future Past. Mystique's DNA in that has the ability to unlock for the Sentinels the ability how to scan and use every single mutant's ability. Now, in theory, a symbiote merged with her means that that symbiote going forwards would automatically have any mutation ability going. So it would probably make her overpowered beyond all belief. Which is probably actually really scary when you think about it. Just putting things out there on a different note. It's like, oh yeah, it's just going to be quite scary. Stella Kitsune says, and your narrator doesn't do friends because it's a foreign concept to her now. Yeah, that you've got a lot of room to develop your character and put quite some interesting scenarios in. Yeah, pretty much Crazy for a Day. She's going to be an organic sentinel at the end of it, which is going to be quite cool. In fact, if I put this up, will you see the actual way it looks? Okay, so that looks clearer to me than that top one. I guess it's the screen. But that's basically how Mystique's looking now. I can get thumb in there to... So that's effectively how she's kind of looking now, which is quite cool. But we'll be going for about probably another 15 minutes. Once I've done that, I will have to pretty much call it an evening, and I'm planning to finish this one off stream, I expect, just to finish the last few bits off, and then we can take it from there. But it will be quite an interesting one to see what we can do. Also interesting to add a bit more of a It's always good to do layers sometimes, because you can go back and you can tweak the colors on the layer or the effects on the layer, and once you do that just slightly, you can make things like this eye really, it's very subtle difference, but that eye looks quite smooth now. And if we wanted to, we could probably put the pupil back in there, but we'll see how that goes. I think I will do the saliva trick now properly on this one. So this is going to be quite gruesome-y looking, but we'll do what we can do with this one. Okay, let's go with this. Okay. Oh, do we want a blue colour? But the blue doesn't always look quite so nice. Let's do all the bits where I want the saliva to be on this one. And I've got to think of the shape, so you want it to follow the shape of the tongue, the shape of the object. So if it's starting here, you want it to come down the side and then back up. You want it to look kind of like it would be going along the side, or it would be coming back up. The core concept behind that is you want it to kind of resemble what you'd class as saliva. I mean, there may be a really big bit going down to here on the tongue, and then it's going to look a bit weird, but obviously on the smaller pictures you can see more of the picture. It is kind of going into place, so it looks a bit odd on this side bit, but it looks no one. Wow, Omoheart, that's fine. Just whack them into the Discord if you need to, if you're part of it. Matthew says, I'm so happy right now. I draw my characters Photoshop and I just figured out how to export them as PNGs without backgrounds, as in transparent backgrounds. Awesome, that's brilliant. That's a game changer, because that means you can put them on mugs, t-shirts, make stickers out of them, put them on any background you want. This is the beauty of layers. Have your background on a separate layer and then just build it up. That's amazing. And also, Omenheart, potato or potato? It is really weird when you're because I know the technique now. it looks really weird as I'm drawing the saliva because I know what it's going to look like when it's around here, and it looks weird. Crazy for a day. The general principle on that is it will have the ability to give humans, I mean, it could probably make humans breathe underwater anyway, but depending on what aquatic creatures it merged with, you would see, I expect you to see a lot of the features. So once they go in the water, it would have a shark fin, it would have sharp jaws. I mean, it's already got jaws that's similar to a shark in its mouth anyway. But the general concept is it would be way more creepy and scary. But yeah, I'd think Subnautica. You know, some of those the Leviathans and stuff on that, like the Reaper Leviathan and stuff. I'd picture that, like a humanoid Reaper Leviathan and that. Truly gruesome. I think I just want a bit more. Okay, so I'm going to kill the reference image a minute to show this technique off again. So this technique for the saliva is you basically duplicate your layer 3 times. Your bottom layer you want to Gaussian blur, and I'll just zoom in so we can make sure we've got it, because it gives a kind of a glow effect to the saliva, which is what you kind of want, a little bit of a glow effect. There's actually a third technique to do, which is quite tricky to get right, but I can do it. Basically, you want to nudge your layer off slightly. You might actually want to colour the layer a different colour, so make it like a black. If I alpha lock that, I can just colour that all in one go. It's a good trick, that one. So basically, when you bring this layer out and it's darker, you can create this kind of shadow on it. Now with the shadow, you actually want to Gaussian blur it and change its opacity, because you really want it to be... but it does... Make sure you don't alpha lock it before you do that. So you want to Gaussian blur it just a bit. And then you want to turn it to a layer mode that would work for a shadow. So maybe multiply and then just drop the opacity down so it's just forming a bit of a shadow. I'm going to take this to the next level now of what we're doing. So this is going to be really interesting. Then you have a normal layer. Then you have an add layer. And drop the opacity down on add layer. So the idea is you turn these layers off. You create a mask on the layer that you're going to work on. You make sure you're on a soft brush. At least lower the opacity and make sure it's a smaller brush size to work with. And you just gently take out bits of this so it looks less of a solid object. And you just do this in each one. You just hit the mask mode and you just go over it again and again, and you do it. And it's not going to look great to start with, but the final effect will look more like it's a slimy texture, because you want those bits shining through. Now some people just do, they will go on and they'll put white bits in it, but we've kind of got that covered with the add layer effect. But you want to think where the light would be, so you want to make some areas more translucent but keep bits where it might be picked up together. So where you might have a bigger selection of the saliva, you'd keep the outer, you'd only do parts of the inner part of the blue, but where it's thinner you might actually go over a bit more of it to make it look like it's a bit looser. And it doesn't look great at the moment, but it will work. Welcome back, Sarah. I'm going until I've probably finished this effect actually. So you're in the middle of a tutorial on how to make really realistic looking or really gruesome looking saliva or liquids. I don't know if you're here when I did it earlier on the quick example, but I'm using a blue color now to basically do a form of saliva in her mouth. And then we'll put the multiply layer on. I will merge that mask down and we'll create a new mask on the multiply layer. And it's the same principle. Any area where you don't think you'll have the shadows, you just want to erase them out. You don't care about them. So you wouldn't really have the shadows on here, you'd have it on the actual tongue. So anywhere off the tongue, you just want to erase the shadowy effect. As cool as it looks, it's not going to work on anything off the tongue. As such, I'll keep it on a few bits, but don't really want it on a lot of places. And then you just go back down and you just lightly erase some of the inner bits of the larger circular parts, just because it gives a more realistic feel. I learnt this from watching, I joined Rake, REIQ's stream, and then Patreon, and they had a video tutorial of this which was amazing, so it was quite cool. In the end, Sarah, I basically ignored the green screen and I pointed it on my second display. So the iPad is stuck into another display, so that's the iPad. It's put into my other display here, and I've just literally moved the camera from pointing at me straight down to it, and that's what we've been using, which is going quite well. And I want to merge that mask down, and then again you put a normal layer on, you create a mask because you want that normal layer in between, and you just repeat the process. And now you're starting to get more of a, it's not going to look great at the moment, but you're starting to get more of a effect forming. And you just want to erase the bits lightly, not lightly, just to create that whole idea of where it's, the idea is you kind of want the bits where it's accumulated. So you'd have more obviously showing where you've got the larger amount of the saliva in one spot than with the other parts. It looks like a bit of a weird technique, but it works really well. It works for anything, Sarah. So it could be water running down a ball or an object in the rain. It could be blood on an object. It could be anything else. It's basically a tutorial I looked at on how to draw. It's going to sound gross, but how to draw bodily fluids is the idea. You can change the color, and if you change the color of this afterwards, you get a different idea of, it could be classed as different. So if it was red, you might think it was blood. If it was yellow, you might think it was something else. If it was green, it could be a Vulcan's blood. You know what I mean? It could work for you with what you want. But obviously it's all down to using what you need to use it for and getting it to work. And the final layer is an add layer on top. So if I merge that down, I go there and I just tweak that slightly. Up close it doesn't look amazing, but that's just part of the charm. Where we've done the different mask bits on the layers, we've built it up. Different areas will start getting the transparent bit of the tongue showing through, kind of like you have on a proper liquid. You might have some thinner areas and not so thin areas. There are other bits you can do on it to tweak it, and you know, you can tweak the colours and stuff when you're done, but you can obviously add more for highlights as you go along. I might add another layer on top and just do some yellowish highlights on the colours, but concept is this is going to start looking more like proper saliva in the mouth now. So compared to what we had before, that kind of looks like a really quite nice salivary tongue on the character. So if I show you on the iPad, that's actually looking a lot like it's saliva now in the mouth, which is really cool, and it works. You just follow the shape of the object, which is amazing. And then if you want to, you can add an extra layer on the top. If you merge these down in the right order, you don't actually lose any of your settings to a degree. I mean, I might keep the add layer on. Do another layer on top. Make sure that's a clipping mask, maybe? No. So do another layer, probably underneath on top. Add a clipping mask. Add a lighter colour. Maybe a soft brush if you want to get a decent sized soft brush. And just add bits to make more of a light effect. So where the light's on, you'd get more of a lit up kind of saliva at the top, and then maybe a few bits at the bottom might be highlighted. And this is actually turning out a bit better than I was expecting it to be. And now that looks quite like saliva on her tongue. That's looking really well. Here's a question. Could Loki the cat be outsmarted by a Doctor Who cat, aka a cat who's like Doctor Who and is so tired? Yes. If you're on about the Demon Loki, I think so. The whole point in the Time Lords is they process a massive amount of information at the same time. Now, demons probably could do that, and Loki is extremely smart. He'd probably be on par with a Doctor Who cat. Sorry, he probably would be on par with Doctor Who cat, but if they're not on par, I'd say the Doctor Who cat, especially if it's got its own TARDIS, would be on a slight advantage. Not to say it has the advantage in a battle of wits. Being a demon, Loki could cheat, but the scenario could be played out into a point where the Doctor Who cat is in a lot of trouble or does need to regenerate. I think I found my new favourite way of doing like the saliva. I think that looks quite cool. I know it's a bit bright from the screen here, which is a bit of a shame. It does look really cool. I can't really show it any better than that at the moment. I'll have to post a picture afterwards. But yeah, that does look quite gruesome. Get a bit more music on while we're doing this minute. It'll go for a couple more minutes. Yeah, it's starting to really come together nicely, this one. There are still more things to do for the highlights and the colours on it. And as I say, I will have to finish this one off screen, because next week we're probably going to be moving on to a different illustration. Unless you guys want me to work on this one more, I might put it out as a community post. Be interesting. I don't mind either dogs or cats. I quite like wolves, but I also like cats. Tegan, it's been super windy and rainy here today. It's been absolutely insane. Is it actually raining outside at the moment? No, it looks okay at the moment. Quite good. Cool. Another trick also, loading up a brush there, is to maybe drop an extra layer in for overlay or something, and then just add a few extra bits to kind of like highlight up a bit more the, depending on how you want it to be, obviously you might want to just add that little extra highlight, and it adds a bit more vibrance. But of course, being on another layer, I can tweak it now. Right, let's just check something. What if I drop that down a little bit? If I made that hard light? I'm just experimenting with the layers a little bit. I mean, I do like the effects we've got from them. It's just working out how it works. Of course, one of the layers at the top, I'll have to have highlights. Back. So he's like, what are you doing? Just putting bits all over the hair now. It'll make sense in a minute. It's all about the opacities and the layers and the multiplying. are you on about my profile picture that I've got on the channel? Because that was done in a video. Probably about 2 to 3 hours to draw that Mega Man. No, actually, that Mega Man Venomized was probably about an hour or so. Hour to 2 hours, maybe just under 3. Potentially, I'd have to dig out the file and have a look at what the info is on it, because I've backed it up into Google, my Google Drive account, just so I don't lose it. Background needs a lot of work as well. I haven't actually finished that. I think I might stop there today, guys, just to have this kind of done. And sorry, I was just reading the chat there. Your profile picture is made by your friend because you forget drawing. Drawing is just a matter of practice, literally. But yeah, it's just practice and then repetitive practice. Anybody can draw. It's just learning the things to draw to make it easier. It sounds simple when you put it that way, but that's the principle behind it. But no, I think I'm going to call it a night here, guys, on where I'm at. It's probably about midnight here, or just before. We had a few technical difficulties at the start of the stream, but we got there in the end, and I will finish off a few highlight bits on this a bit later on in the week, and I'll also put out about the member stream happening either. It may be tomorrow night, it may be on the weekend. It might be the weekend for members only stream. We'll see how things go. But yeah, do we have any questions before we disappear? And I really love how the kind of like this bit's turning out. So I'm going to put this as a an actual image shortly after the stream, maybe tomorrow, just where we've got to, and then it's just, I say, tidying bits up and adding a few extra details. But if we've got no questions from anybody, I will say good night to everybody. Thank you for joining the stream, and I will see you next time. Friday is going to be a normal video, so that's the plan for that one. I've done most of the artwork that's going to be in that video already. But yeah, anyway, I'll catch you later, guys. Bye.